Hello and welcome to the Mindful Zone. I'm so glad you're here today. Together, we're going to embark on a journey, one that will guide you toward eliminating anxiety from your life through the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness. Whether you're new to these practices or someone who's already exploring them, this video has been created with warmth and accessibility in mind. It's designed to be a safe space where you can relax, reflect, and take meaningful steps toward greater peace and well-being. Anxiety is something most of us experience at some point in our lives. For some, it's fleeting, a response to a stressful situation. For others, it feels constant, like a shadow we carry wherever we go. But what if I told you there are tools that have helped people find calm and clarity for thousands of years? Tools rooted not just in philosophy, but in practical action. Tools anyone can learn and apply. This hour together is about transformation, not overnight, but step by step. We'll explore how Buddhist teachings offer profound insights into understanding anxiety, how meditation helps train the mind to stay present, and how mindfulness brings awareness to every moment of your day. These aren't abstract concepts, they're tangible practices you can weave into your daily life. Take a deep breath with me now. Inhale slowly, hold it for just a moment, and exhale fully. Feel yourself settling into this moment. Let go of whatever brought you here, the distractions, the worries, and simply allow yourself to be here right now. This is your time. Our exploration today will unfold through 10 chapters. Each chapter builds upon the last, offering both insight and actionable steps to help you manage anxiety and cultivate inner peace. You don't need any prior knowledge or special equipment, just an open heart and a willingness to try something new. By the end of this video, my hope is that you'll feel empowered with tools you can use immediately. More importantly, I want you to leave knowing that peace isn't something far away or unattainable. It's already within you. It's just waiting for you to uncover it. So, whether you're sitting comfortably at home, taking a break during a busy workday, or even listening while commuting, let this hour be a gift to yourself. Lean into curiosity, embrace kindness toward yourself, and trust that every small effort counts. Are you ready? Let's begin. Chapter 1: Understanding Anxiety Through a Buddhist Lens. In this chapter, we'll delve deep into the roots of anxiety from a perspective that has stood the test of time: Buddhism. For over 2,500 years, Buddhist teachings have offered profound insights into the human condition, including our struggles with fear, worry, and unease. These teachings aren't just philosophical musings, they're practical tools for understanding why anxiety arises and how we can begin to free ourselves from its grip. Let's start by acknowledging something important. Anxiety is not unique to modern life. People throughout history have grappled with feelings of fear and uncertainty. What makes our current era different is the sheer volume of stimuli bombarding us daily, the constant notifications, endless news cycles, social media comparisons, and the relentless pace of life. While these factors amplify anxiety, they don't create it. At its core, anxiety stems from patterns within the mind itself. And here's where Buddhism offers remarkable clarity. In Buddhism, anxiety is understood as part of a broader category known as dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. Dukkha encompasses all forms of discomfort, dissatisfaction, and unease that arise when we resist the impermanent nature of life. The Buddha taught that suffering exists. It's an unavoidable aspect of being human. But he also revealed its causes and showed us a path to liberation. This framework is called the Four Noble Truths, which form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy. Let me break them down briefly because they hold the key to understanding anxiety. The first truth states that suffering exists. We've all experienced moments of stress, frustration, or fear. These feelings are universal. They remind us that no matter how hard we try, life isn't always smooth sailing. Sometimes the waves crash unexpectedly, leaving us feeling overwhelmed. But recognizing this truth isn't meant to be discouraging, it's liberating. When we accept that suffering is part of life, we stop fighting against it so fiercely Instead, we learn to navigate it with grace. The second truth identifies the cause of suffering. According to the Buddha, suffering arises from craving, clinging, and aversion. Think about it. How often do anxious thoughts revolve around wanting things to be different? Maybe you're clinging to the hope that everything will go perfectly, or perhaps you're resisting change and fearing the unknown. Both attachment and aversion pull us out of the present moment, creating tension in the mind. Anxiety thrives on this lack of acceptance. It feeds on our resistance to what is. Now let's move to the third truth, which brings immense hope. There's an end to suffering. Yes, you heard that right. While anxiety may feel overwhelming at times, it doesn't have to define your existence. The Buddha taught that freedom from suffering is possible when we let go of attachment and cultivate wisdom. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is fine. It means learning to relate to life differently with openness, curiosity, and compassion. Finally, the fourth truth outlines the path to ending suffering. This path is called the Eightfold Path, and it provides a roadmap for living skillfully. While we won't dive deeply into each step today, I want to highlight one element that's particularly relevant to anxiety: right mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. By training ourselves to observe our thoughts and emotions rather than getting swept away by them, we weaken anxiety's hold on us. So how does this ancient wisdom apply to modern-day anxiety? Imagine your mind as a vast ocean. On the surface, storms rage, thoughts swirl, emotions churn, and fears loom large. But beneath those turbulent waves lies stillness, depth, and calm. Anxiety lives on the surface level, where we get caught up in stories about the past or worries about the future. The practice of mindfulness invites us to dive deeper, connecting with the quiet stability beneath the chaos. One of the most powerful lessons Buddhism teaches is that anxiety isn't who you are. It's simply a temporary state, a visitor passing through. Too often, we identify with our anxious thoughts, believing they reflect some fundamental truth about ourselves. I'm a worrier, we might say, or I'll never feel calm. Yet, labeling yourself in this way only reinforces the pattern. Instead, try observing your thoughts with detachment. Notice when anxiety arises, acknowledge it, and gently remind yourself, this is just a thought, it's not me. Over time, this simple shift in perspective can transform your relationship with anxiety. Another crucial teaching is the concept of non-self or anatta. In Western culture, we tend to think of ourselves as fixed entities with clear boundaries between me and the world. But Buddhism suggests that this sense of self is largely constructed by our minds. Much of our anxiety comes from trying to protect or enhance this fragile identity. What would happen if you loosened your grip on the idea of a separate, permanent self? Would you feel freer, lighter, perhaps less burdened by the need to control every outcome? To illustrate this point, consider a common source of anxiety: fear of failure. Many of us tie our worth to achievements, believing that success defines us. From a Buddhist perspective, this attachment sets us up for suffering. When outcomes don't meet expectations, we spiral into self-doubt and despair. But what if success and failure were simply experiences, not reflections of your inherent value? By letting go of rigid definitions of who you should be, you open yourself to greater ease and flexibility. Of course, understanding these principles intellectually is one thing, applying them in daily life is another. Here's a practical exercise to help you integrate this wisdom. Whenever anxiety arises, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what am I clinging to? Are you attached to a specific result, relationship, or image of yourself? Second, what am I resisting? Is there something you're pushing away or avoiding? Finally, can I let go of both clinging and resisting, even for a moment? Just posing these questions creates space for awareness to emerge. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate difficult emotions entirely. That's unrealistic. Life will always bring challenges, but by shifting your perspective and relating to anxiety with compassion instead of fear, you reduce its power over you. Each time you choose presence over panic, you strengthen your capacity for peace. As we conclude this chapter, take a few moments to reflect on what resonates with you. Do any of these ideas spark curiosity? Perhaps you're beginning to see anxiety not as an enemy, but as a teacher, an opportunity to grow wiser and more resilient. If so, you're already on the path to liberation. In the next chapter, we'll explore the foundational practice of mindfulness and how it serves as a bridge between Buddhist philosophy and everyday life. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 2, The Power of Presence, Mindfulness Basics. In this chapter, we're going to dive deeply into one of the most transformative practices available to us, mindfulness. Mindfulness is simple in concept, but profound in its effects. It's the art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. And while it might sound straightforward, cultivating mindfulness can radically shift how we experience life, and especially how we navigate anxiety. Let's begin by understanding what mindfulness truly means. At its core, mindfulness is about awareness. It's not about clearing your mind of thoughts or achieving some mystical state. Rather, it's about noticing what's happening right now, both within you and around you, with openness and curiosity. Think of it as tuning into the channel of the present moment instead of getting lost in the noise of the past or future. Why does this matter so much when it comes to anxiety? Because anxiety thrives on distraction. When our minds are scattered, racing ahead to plan for tomorrow or replaying old regrets, we lose touch with the only moment that actually exists, the present. Anxiety convinces us that something terrible is looming just beyond the horizon, pulling us out of the here and now. But mindfulness brings us back. It reminds us that in this very moment we're okay. Whatever challenges lie ahead haven't arrived yet, and whatever burdens from the past no longer exist except in memory. So, how do we practice mindfulness? Let's start with the foundation, the breath. Your breath is always with you, making it an ideal anchor for your attention. Here's a simple exercise you can try right now. Sit comfortably, whether that's cross-legged on the floor, in a chair, with your feet planted firmly on the ground, or even lying down if that feels better for your body. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, or simply soften your gaze. Now bring your awareness to your breath. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils as you inhale, and the warm air leaving as you exhale. Notice the rise and fall of your chest or belly. Don't try to change your breathing, just observe it. If your mind wanders, and trust me, it will, that's completely normal. Our minds are wired to think, analyze, and wonder. The key isn't to stop thinking altogether, it's to notice when your attention drifts and gently guide it back to your breath. Each time you return your focus, you're strengthening your mindfulness muscle. Over time, this practice trains your mind to stay more grounded in the present, reducing the grip of anxious thoughts. Now let's expand beyond the breath. Mindfulness isn't limited to formal meditation sessions, it's a way of living. You can bring mindful awareness to almost any activity throughout your day. For example, consider eating. How often do we rush through meals, barely tasting our food, because we're distracted by screens or multitasking? Next time you eat, slow down. Take a moment before you begin to appreciate the colors, textures, and aromas of your meal. As you take your first bite, savor the flavors. Chew slowly, noticing how the taste evolves. This kind of mindful eating not only enhances your enjoyment of food, but also helps calm the nervous system, which can reduce stress and anxiety over time. Another opportunity for mindfulness arises during routine tasks like washing dishes or brushing your teeth. These activities may seem mundane, but they offer precious moments to connect with the present. Instead of rushing through them, pay attention to the sensations involved. Feel the warmth of the water on your hands as you wash a plate. Notice the rhythm of the brush against your teeth. By fully engaging with these small acts, you cultivate presence and gratitude, even in the simplest aspects of life. Walking is another powerful way to practice mindfulness. Whether you're strolling through a park, walking to work, or pacing around your home, you can turn this movement into a meditation. Begin by standing still for a moment. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the ground beneath your feet. Then, take a step. Pay attention to the sensation of lifting your foot, moving it forward, and placing it back down. Notice how your legs swing, how your arms move naturally at your sides. If your mind starts to drift, gently bring it back to the act of walking. This practice not only grounds you in the present, but also connects you with the earth, fostering a sense of stability and calm. One of the beautiful things about mindfulness is that it doesn't require perfection. There's no right way to be mindful. Some days you'll find it easy to stay focused. Other days, your mind will feel like a runaway train. That's okay. What matters is showing up consistently, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. Over time, those small efforts add up, creating lasting changes in how you relate to yourself and the world. To deepen your practice, consider setting aside dedicated time for mindfulness meditation. Start with 5 minutes a day and gradually increase as you feel comfortable. Use guided meditations if they help you stay focused. They're particularly useful for beginners. Apps, podcasts, or videos designed for mindfulness can provide structure and encouragement as you build your habit. As you continue practicing mindfulness, you'll likely notice subtle shifts in your mental landscape. Anxious thoughts may still arise, but they'll begin to feel less overwhelming. Why? Because mindfulness creates distance between you and your thoughts. Instead of being swept away by them, you learn to observe them objectively. Imagine watching clouds drift across the sky. You see them, acknowledge them, and let them pass without clinging to them. This detachment weakens anxiety's hold on you, allowing you to respond to challenges with greater clarity and calm. It's important to remember that mindfulness isn't about forcing positivity or pretending everything is fine. Life includes pain, difficulty, and uncertainty. And mindfulness doesn't erase those realities. What it does is equip you to face them with resilience and compassion. Rather than pushing away uncomfortable emotions, mindfulness invites you to sit with them, to listen to what they might be trying to tell you. Sometimes anxiety signals unmet needs or unresolved issues that deserve your attention. By approaching these feelings with curiosity instead of resistance, you create space for healing and growth. Another aspect of mindfulness worth exploring is body awareness. Often we carry tension in our bodies without realizing it. Tight shoulders, clenched jaws, shallow breathing, all signs of stress manifesting physically. Through mindfulness, you can develop a deeper connection with your body, learning to recognize and release this stored tension. Try this short exercise. Close your eyes and scan your body from head to toe. Notice where you feel tightness or discomfort. Breathe into those areas, imagining your breath softening and releasing the tension. This practice not only relaxes your body but also calms your mind, reinforcing the mind-body connection central to mindfulness. Finally, let's talk about self-compassion, an essential companion to mindfulness. Too often we approach personal growth with criticism, berating ourselves for perceived failures or shortcomings. But mindfulness asks us to treat ourselves with kindness, especially when we struggle. If you miss a meditation session, forget to breathe mindfully during a stressful moment. Or find your mind wandering constantly. Don't judge yourself harshly. Acknowledge the effort you're making and celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Progress isn't linear. It's a journey filled with ups and downs. Be patient with yourself and trust that consistency matters more than perfection. As we wrap up this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. How does the idea of mindfulness resonate with you? Do you feel inspired to incorporate it into your daily life? Remember, mindfulness isn't a destination, it's a practice. The more you engage with it, the more benefits you'll experience. In the next chapter, we'll explore loving-kindness meditation, metta, a heart-centered practice that complements mindfulness beautifully by cultivating compassion, for ourselves and others. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 3, Loving Kindness Meditation, or Metta. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most profound and transformative practices within Buddhist tradition, metta meditation. Also known as loving kindness meditation, metta is a practice designed to cultivate compassion for ourselves, for others, and even for those who challenge us. This practice isn't just about feeling good, it's about breaking down barriers, softening our hearts, and creating a foundation of love that can sustain us through life's ups and downs, including moments of anxiety. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to understand what metta truly means. The word metta comes from the Pali language, an ancient script used in early Buddhist texts. It translates roughly to loving kindness, but its essence goes beyond mere affection. Metta is unconditional goodwill, a sincere wish for happiness, safety, and peace for all beings. Unlike romantic love, which often involves attachment and conditions, metta is expansive and inclusive. It doesn't discriminate based on whether someone deserves kindness or not. Instead, it radiates outward, touching everyone equally. Why does this matter when it comes to anxiety? Because anxiety thrives in isolation. When we feel disconnected from ourselves, from others, or from the world, we become more vulnerable to fear and worry. Anxiety convinces us that we're alone in our struggles, that no one understands us, or that the world is inherently unsafe. But metta challenges these beliefs by reminding us of our interconnectedness. It opens our hearts, dissolving the walls we build around ourselves and replacing fear with warmth. Now let's talk about how to practice metta meditation. Like mindfulness, it's simple in principle but deeply impactful over time. Here's how it works. You begin by silently repeating phrases of goodwill and kindness. These phrases are directed first toward yourself, then expanded outward, to loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and eventually even those who cause difficulty in your life. Let's start with the basics. Find a comfortable position, whether sitting upright, lying down, or even standing if that feels right for you. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a few deep breaths, allowing your body to settle into stillness. Now bring your attention inward and repeat these phrases silently to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Feel free to adapt these phrases to suit your needs. For example, you might say, may I be safe, or may I find peace. The key is to choose words that resonate with you personally. As you repeat them, imagine sending love and care directly to your own heart. This step is crucial because self-compassion forms the foundation of metta. Too often we neglect ourselves, believing that focusing on our own well-being is selfish. But true compassion begins at home. If we can't offer kindness to ourselves, how can we extend it to others? Once you've spent a few minutes directing metta toward yourself, shift your focus outward. Begin with someone you love deeply, a family member, friend, or mentor. Picture their face clearly in your mind. Imagine them surrounded by warmth and light. Then repeat the same phrases, this time addressing them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Notice how it feels to send love to someone you care about. Does your heart soften? Do you feel a sense of connection and warmth spreading through you? These sensations are signs that metta is working, not just for the recipient, but for you as well. By cultivating kindness, we nourish our own spirit. Next, expand your circle of compassion to include neutral people, those you encounter regularly but don't have strong feelings toward. Perhaps it's the cashier at your local grocery store, a colleague you pass in the hallway, or a neighbor whose name you barely know. Even though you may not think much about these individuals, they too deserve happiness and peace. Direct your phrases toward them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. This step helps break down the illusion of separateness. We often walk through life assuming that others' experiences are unrelated to ours, but in reality we're all part of the same human family. By extending metta to neutral people, you begin to see them not as strangers, but as fellow travelers on this journey called life. Now here's where the practice becomes challenging and transformative. Think of someone who has caused you difficulty or pain. This could be a person you've had conflict with, someone who misunderstood you, or even someone who hurt you intentionally. It's natural to resist this step, especially if the wounds feel fresh. But remember, metta isn't about excusing harmful behavior or pretending everything is okay. It's about recognizing that everyone suffers, and that suffering often drives people to act in ways they later regret. When you're ready, picture this person in your mind. See them as a human being, flawed and imperfect like everyone else. Then repeat the phrases, directing them toward this individual. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. If resistance arises, and it likely will, acknowledge it without judgment. You don't need to force yourself to feel intense love or forgiveness immediately. Simply planting the seed of goodwill is enough. Over time, this practice can soften resentment and foster understanding, helping you release the emotional weight of holding on to anger. Finally, broaden your scope even further. Extend metta to all beings everywhere, all humans, animals, plants, and ecosystems. Visualize the entire planet bathed in light, filled with peace and harmony. Repeat the phrases universally. And may all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. This final step reinforces the idea that we're all interconnected. Your well-being is tied to the well-being of others, and vice versa. By embracing this truth, you tap into a source of strength and resilience that transcends individual concerns. As you practice metta regularly, you'll notice subtle yet powerful shifts in your mindset. Anxiety often stems from a sense of lack, feeling unworthy, unloved, or unsupported. But metta reminds you that you are worthy of love and kindness simply because you exist. It also fosters empathy, helping you relate to others with greater patience and understanding. These qualities create a buffer against stress, making it easier to navigate life's challenges with grace. One important note: metta isn't always easy, especially when you're dealing with difficult emotions or relationships. Some days, you might struggle to feel genuine warmth or connection. That's perfectly normal. The goal isn't to achieve some idealized state of bliss. It's to show up consistently, planting seeds of compassion that will grow over time. Even small efforts count. Each phrase you repeat, each moment of intention contributes to a larger transformation. To deepen your practice, consider integrating metta into your daily routine. You don't need to set aside hours, just a few minutes can make a difference. Try practicing first thing in the morning to set a positive tone for the day, or before bed to release tension and drift off peacefully. You can also weave metta into ordinary activities, such as commuting or waiting in line. Silently repeat the phrases as you go about your day, infusing everyday moments with kindness. Another way to enhance metta is by combining it with visualization. As you direct phrases toward different recipients, imagine beams of golden light flowing from your heart to theirs. Picture this light filling them with warmth, healing, and peace. Visualization adds a sensory dimension to the practice, making it feel more tangible and immersive. It's worth noting that metta isn't a quick fix, it's a lifelong practice. Its benefits accumulate gradually, shaping your inner landscape in ways that ripple outward. With consistent effort, you'll find yourself becoming more patient, forgiving, and open-hearted, not just toward others, but also toward yourself. And as your capacity for compassion grows, so too does your ability to handle anxiety. Love and kindness act as antidotes to fear, replacing contraction with expansion, separation with unity. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. How does the concept of metta resonate with you? Do you feel inspired to incorporate it into your life? Remember, metta isn't about achieving perfection or erasing pain overnight. It's about planting seeds of love and watching them grow, one phrase at a time. In the next chapter, we'll explore the profound teaching of impermanence and how embracing this truth can help reduce anxiety. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 4. Embracing Impermanence. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most profound teachings in Buddhism, the concept of impermanence. At first glance, this idea might seem unsettling or even frightening. After all, humans have an innate desire for stability and control. We crave permanence in relationships, careers, health, and happiness. Yet when we resist impermanence, we set ourselves up for suffering. Anxiety often arises from clinging too tightly to what we cannot hold on to, whether it's a fleeting emotion, a particular outcome, or even the illusion of certainty. By learning to embrace impermanence, we can transform our relationship with anxiety and find deeper peace in the ever-changing flow of life. Let's start by understanding what impermanence truly means. In Buddhism, impermanence, or anicca in Pali, is considered one of the three marks of existence, alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. It teaches us that everything in life is constantly changing. Nothing remains fixed or permanent. From the smallest details like the shifting patterns of sunlight on your wall, to larger events such as the seasons passing or people coming and going in our lives, change is the only constant. At first, this realization can feel disorienting. If nothing lasts forever, doesn't that mean life is inherently unstable? Yes and no. While impermanence highlights the fragility of existence, it also reveals its beauty. Think about it. Without impermanence, there would be no growth, no renewal, no possibility for transformation. A flower blooms because it eventually fades. Joy exists because it gives way to sorrow, which then makes room for new joy. Life is a dance of opposites, each phase giving rise to the next. When we embrace impermanence, we stop fighting against the natural rhythm of things and instead learn to move with it. And let's connect this teaching to anxiety. Anxiety often stems from our resistance to change. We fear losing what we value, our jobs, our loved ones, our sense of security. We worry about the future because we don't know what it holds. But here's the paradox. The more we cling to permanence, the more anxious we become. Why? Because clinging creates tension. It sets up unrealistic expectations that reality will inevitably fail to meet. On the other hand, embracing impermanence loosens our grip. It reminds us that just as difficult emotions pass, so too do moments of ease return. Nothing stays stuck. Not pain, not pleasure, not anxiety itself. So, how do we begin to embrace impermanence? Let's start with observation. Spend some time noticing the ways change manifests in your daily life. Watch the sun rise and set. Observe the ebb and flow of your breath. Pay attention to the subtle shifts in your mood throughout the day. Even something as ordinary as drinking a cup of tea can teach you about impermanence. Notice how the warmth of the liquid cools as you sip it, how the aroma fades as the steam dissipates. These small acts remind us that everything has a beginning, middle, and end, and that's okay. Another powerful way to work with impermanence is through meditation. Sit quietly and bring your awareness to the present moment. As thoughts, sensations, and emotions arise, notice their transient nature. One moment you might feel calm, the next restless. A wave of sadness may wash over you, only to dissolve into contentment moments later. Instead of judging these fluctuations, simply observe them. Remind yourself, this too shall pass. This phrase isn't just a cliche, it's a profound truth. Whatever you're experiencing right now, good or bad, is temporary. Knowing this can help you navigate challenging times with greater equanimity. Impermanence also invites us to reframe loss and endings, whether it's the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, or the death of a loved one. Letting go is never easy. But impermanence reminds us that every ending clears space for something new to emerge. Just as winter gives way to spring, periods of difficulty often pave the way for growth and renewal. This doesn't mean dismissing grief or pretending everything is fine. It means holding both truths simultaneously. that loss hurts deeply, but it's also part of life's cyclical nature. To deepen your understanding of impermanence, consider reflecting on the following questions. What am I holding on to right now that I know won't last forever? Is it a particular role or identity, a specific outcome I'm attached to? Or perhaps it's a version of myself I wish would stay unchanged. Once you identify what you're clinging to, ask yourself, how does this attachment serve me? Does it bring me peace, or does it fuel anxiety? Often we cling not out of love for the thing itself, but out of fear of the unknown. Recognizing this distinction is a crucial step toward releasing unnecessary burdens. Another practical exercise involves cultivating gratitude for impermanence. While it's easy to focus on the losses impermanence brings, it's equally important to appreciate the gifts it offers. For example, imagine if pain were permanent, if every ache, heartbreak, or disappointment lingered indefinitely. Would you be able to experience joy or relief? Similarly, if happiness lasted forever, would it retain its sweetness? Impermanence ensures that life remains dynamic and full of surprises. Take a moment to acknowledge the blessings impermanence has brought into your life, the friendships that enriched you before parting ways, the challenges that taught you resilience, and the fleeting moments of beauty that took your breath away. Of course, embracing impermanence doesn't mean adopting a passive attitude toward life. It's not about shrugging off responsibility or resigning yourself to fate. Rather, it's about finding balance between effort and acceptance. You can still strive toward goals, nurture relationships, and care for your well-being, all while recognizing that outcomes are uncertain. This mindset allows you to engage fully with life without becoming consumed by attachment or fear. One of the most liberating aspects of impermanence is how it reframes failure. Too often we view mistakes or setbacks as permanent stains on our record, but impermanence reminds us that failure is simply another phase in the cycle of growth. Every misstep carries lessons that prepare us for future success. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use it to evolve and adapt? By seeing failure as temporary rather than definitive, you free yourself from the paralyzing grip of perfectionism. Impermanence also teaches us to cherish the present moment. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we naturally become more mindful of the here and now. Think about the people in your life who matter most to you. Do you take them for granted, assuming they'll always be there? Or do you express your love and appreciation regularly, knowing that tomorrow isn't guaranteed? By embracing impermanence, we learn to live with greater intention and presence, savoring the richness of each moment. Finally, let's talk about how impermanence relates to mindfulness and loving-kindness practices we explored earlier. Mindfulness trains us to observe the ebb and flow of thoughts and emotions without clinging to them, while metta helps us cultivate compassion despite life's uncertainties. Together, these practices reinforce the wisdom of impermanence, helping us navigate change with grace and courage. When combined, they form a powerful toolkit for managing anxiety and fostering inner peace. As we wrap up this chapter, take a few moments to reflect on what you've learned. How does the concept of impermanence resonate with you? Do you feel inspired to approach life differently, embracing change rather than resisting it? Remember, impermanence isn't something to fear. It's a reminder of life's inherent dynamism and potential for renewal. By softening your resistance to change, you open yourself to greater freedom and joy. In the next chapter, we'll discuss how to create a sustainable daily meditation practice, offering practical tips to integrate mindfulness and other techniques into your routine. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 5. Creating a daily meditation practice. In this chapter, we're going to focus on one of the most important steps toward eliminating anxiety and cultivating inner peace, building a consistent meditation practice. If you've ever tried meditating before, you might already know that it's not always easy to stick with it. Life gets busy, distractions pile up, and sometimes Sitting still feels like the last thing you want to do. But here's the good news. Creating a sustainable meditation practice doesn't require perfection, it just requires commitment. And once you establish a routine, the benefits will ripple through every area of your life. Let's start by addressing a common misconception about meditation, the idea that it's supposed to feel magical or transformative right away. While some people experience profound calmness or clarity during their first few sessions, others may find it challenging at first. Your mind might wander endlessly, your body might feel restless, or you might even question whether you're doing it wrong. These experiences are completely normal, and they don't mean you're failing. Meditation is a skill, much like playing an instrument or learning a language. The more you practice, the better you get. What matters most isn't how good you are at meditating, but simply showing up consistently. So, where do you begin? Let's break it down step by step, starting with setting aside time for your practice. One of the biggest barriers people face when trying to meditate is finding the time. Many assume they need hours each day to see results, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Even 5 minutes can make a difference if done regularly. Start small. Commit to just 5 minutes a day, preferably at the same time each day. Whether it's first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or before bed, consistency is key. Over time, as meditation becomes a habit, you can gradually increase the duration to 10, 15 or 20 minutes, or longer if you'd like. Next, create a dedicated space for your practice. You don't need a fancy meditation room or expensive props. A quiet corner of your home will do just fine. The goal is to designate a spot that feels calming and inviting. Add elements that resonate with you personally, perhaps a cushion or chair for comfort, a candle or incense for ambiance, or a plant to connect with nature. Some people enjoy placing meaningful objects nearby, such as crystals, photos, or books that inspire them. Whatever you choose, let your space reflect your intention to cultivate peace and presence. Once you've set aside time and created a space, it's time to focus on posture. How you sit can significantly impact your experience. Find a position that allows you to stay alert, yet relaxed. For many, sitting cross-legged on the floor works well, especially if supported by a cushion to elevate the hips slightly. Others prefer sitting in a chair with both feet flat on the ground and their back straight but not rigid. If sitting upright feels uncomfortable, lying down is another option. Just be mindful of the tendency to fall asleep. Experiment until you find what feels best for your body. Remember, there's no right way to sit. The key is to maintain a sense of dignity and openness while remaining comfortable enough to sustain your practice. Now, let's talk about technique. There are countless forms of meditation, but for beginners, focusing on the breath is often the simplest and most effective approach. Begin by closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling fully through your mouth. Then allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. Bring your attention to the sensation of the breath entering and leaving your nostrils, or notice the rise and fall of your chest or belly. Whenever your mind wanders, and it inevitably will, gently bring your focus back to your breath without judgment. This process of noticing distraction and returning to the present moment is the essence of meditation. If focusing on the breath feels challenging, consider using guided meditations. Apps, podcasts, and YouTube channels offer a wide variety of recordings tailored to different needs and preferences. Guided meditations provide structure and support, making them ideal for those new to the practice. They can also introduce you to other techniques such as body scans, visualization exercises, or loving-kindness meditations. As you grow more confident, you can experiment with unguided sessions, allowing yourself to explore meditation independently. Another helpful tip is to incorporate mindfulness into everyday activities. While formal meditation is invaluable, informal mindfulness practices can reinforce your efforts throughout the day. For example, try eating mindfully, walking mindfully, or even brushing your teeth with full awareness. By bringing your attention to the present moment during routine tasks, you strengthen your ability to stay grounded and focused. This integration ensures that meditation isn't confined to your cushion, but extends into all aspects of your life. Of course, maintaining a daily practice isn't always smooth sailing. Some days you'll feel energized and motivated. Other days, you'll struggle to muster the energy or motivation. That's okay. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. On tough days, remind yourself why you started. Perhaps it was to reduce anxiety, improve sleep, or cultivate greater self-awareness. Reconnecting with your purpose can reignite your commitment. And remember, even short sessions count. If you only have 2 minutes, use them wisely. Simply taking a few conscious breaths can help reset your nervous system and shift your mindset. To stay accountable, consider keeping a meditation journal. After each session, jot down a few notes about your experience. Did you notice any patterns in your thoughts or emotions? Were there moments of clarity or resistance? Reflecting on your progress can deepen your understanding of the practice and highlight areas for growth. Additionally, tracking your streaks, how many consecutive days you meditate, can serve as a source of motivation. Just be gentle with yourself if you miss a day. Missing a session doesn't erase the work you've already done, it's simply an opportunity to begin again. For those who thrive in community settings, joining a meditation group or class can be incredibly supportive. Practicing alongside others fosters a sense of connection and accountability. Many cities offer in-person meditation groups, while online platforms provide virtual options for those unable to attend physically. Sharing your journey with like-minded individuals can enhance your experience and remind you that you're not alone in navigating challenges. As your practice evolves, don't hesitate to explore different styles of meditation. While breath-focused mindfulness is a great starting point, other traditions offer unique insights and benefits. For instance, Zen meditation emphasizes posture and awareness, while Vipassana delves into insight and self-observation. Mantra-based practices involve repeating sacred words or phrases, while movement-based meditations like yoga or Tai Chi combine physical activity with mental focus. Exploring these variations can keep your practice fresh and engaging, preventing stagnation or boredom. One final aspect worth mentioning is patience. Building a daily meditation practice takes time, and the rewards often unfold gradually. At first, you might not notice significant changes, but over weeks, months, and years, the cumulative effects become undeniable. Anxiety diminishes, resilience grows, and a deeper sense of peace emerges. Trust the process and trust yourself. Every moment you dedicate to meditation contributes to your overall well-being. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Do you feel ready to commit to a daily meditation practice, even if it's just 5 minutes a day? Remember, the journey is personal. There's no universal formula for success. What works for one person might not work for another. The most important thing is to honor your unique needs and pace. In the next chapter, we'll explore mindful movement, how practices like yoga, Tai Chi, and walking meditation can complement seated meditation and further support your path to reducing anxiety. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 6. Mindful movement, yoga, and walking. In this chapter, we're going to explore how movement can become a powerful form of meditation and mindfulness. While seated meditation is incredibly beneficial, mindful movement offers a dynamic way to connect with your body, release physical tension, and cultivate presence, all while reducing anxiety. By integrating practices like yoga, Tai Chi, or even mindful walking into your daily routine, you can deepen your understanding of mindfulness and enhance your overall well-being. Let's begin by acknowledging something fundamental. Our bodies are not separate from our minds. Anxiety doesn't just live in our thoughts, it manifests physically as tight shoulders, shallow breathing, a racing heart, or an uneasy stomach. When we ignore these signals, we miss an opportunity to address stress at its root. Mindful movement bridges the gap between mind and body, helping us process emotions and release stored tension. It reminds us that peace isn't just a mental state, it's also embodied, a felt experience rooted in physical awareness. One of the most accessible forms of mindful movement is yoga. Originating thousands of years ago in ancient India, yoga combines physical postures, asanas, breath control, pranayama, and meditation to promote balance and harmony. While modern interpretations of yoga often emphasize fitness or flexibility, its true purpose is spiritual growth and self-discovery. For those seeking relief from anxiety, yoga provides a holistic practice that calms the nervous system, strengthens the body, and centers the mind. If you're new to yoga, don't worry, you don't need to be flexible, strong, or experienced to benefit from it. The essence of yoga lies in intention, not performance. Start by finding a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Wear comfortable clothing and gather any props you might need, such as a mat, blocks, or a blanket. Begin with simple poses that encourage grounding and relaxation. A great starting point is mountain pose, Tadasana. Stand tall with your feet hip-width apart, toes spread wide for stability. Engage your leg muscles gently, lift through the crown of your head, and soften your gaze forward. Take a few deep breaths here, feeling rooted into the earth while reaching upward toward the sky. This pose cultivates alignment and presence, serving as a foundation for other movements. From there, you can flow into gentle sequences like sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. These dynamic poses link breath with movement, creating a rhythmic flow that soothes the mind. As you inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, fold forward. Step back into plank, lower down, and rise into upward-facing dog before returning to downward-facing dog. Repeat this cycle slowly, syncing each movement with your breath. Notice how the repetition creates a meditative quality, drawing your focus inward. For moments when anxiety feels overwhelming, try restorative poses designed to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for rest and digest. Poses like child's pose, balasana legs up the wall pose, viparita karani, and reclined bound angle pose, supta baddha konasana, invite deep relaxation. Use props like bolsters or pillows to support your body, allowing you to surrender fully into stillness. Stay in these poses for several minutes, focusing on slow, steady breaths. Feel the tension melting away, replaced by waves of calm. While yoga offers structured movement, mindful walking provides a simpler yet equally profound practice. Walking meditation involves bringing full attention to the act of walking itself, not as a means to get somewhere, but as an end in itself. Find a quiet place to walk, whether it's indoors along a hallway or outdoors in nature. Begin by standing still, noticing the weight of your body pressing into the ground beneath your feet. Wiggle your toes slightly, feeling the connection between your soles and the earth. When you're ready, take your first step. Move slowly and deliberately, paying attention to the sensations involved. Feel the heel of one foot touch the ground, followed by the ball of your foot and then your toes. Shift your weight onto that foot as the other lifts and moves forward. Repeat this process step by step, maintaining awareness of the entire movement. If your mind begins to wander to plans, worries, or distractions, gently guide it back to the rhythm of your steps. To deepen the practice, synchronize your breath with your walking. For example, inhale as you take 3 steps, then exhale as you take another 3. Adjust the pace to suit your comfort level, ensuring that both your breath and movement remain smooth and steady. Over time, this practice trains your mind to stay present, anchoring you firmly in the here and now. Mindful walking is especially effective in natural settings where the sights, sounds, and smells of the environment amplify the sense of connection. Forest bathing, a Japanese practice known as Shinrin-yoku, encourages immersing yourself in nature to reduce stress and boost well-being. Combine mindful walking with forest bathing by strolling through a park or wooded area, pausing occasionally to admire trees, listen to birdsong, or feel the texture of bark under your fingertips. Nature has a way of grounding us, reminding us of life's simplicity and beauty. Another form of mindful movement worth exploring is Tai Chi or Qigong. These ancient Chinese practices blend slow, flowing movements with focused breathing and visualization techniques. They're particularly well suited for cultivating inner peace and resilience. Like yoga, Tai Chi and Qigong emphasize balance, flexibility, and mindfulness, but they also incorporate martial arts principles, making them highly versatile. Many beginners appreciate their accessibility, as they require minimal equipment and can be adapted for all fitness levels. Regardless of which form of mindful movement resonates with you, remember that the goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Anxiety often arises when we disconnect from our bodies, becoming overly identified with our thoughts. Mindful movement counters this tendency by fostering embodiment. It teaches us to inhabit our skin fully, embracing the sensations, rhythms, and limitations of our physical selves. This reconnection diminishes anxiety's power, replacing fear with acceptance and compassion. To integrate mindful movement into your daily life, consider scheduling it like any other activity. Set aside specific times for yoga, Tai Chi, or walking meditation, treating them as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Alternatively, weave movement into existing routines. For instance, stretch briefly after waking up, take mindful walks during breaks, or practice gentle poses before bed. Consistency matters more than duration. Even 5 minutes of mindful movement can make a difference. It's also helpful to approach these practices with curiosity rather than expectation. On some days, you might feel energized and inspired. Other days, sluggish or distracted. That's okay. Your body and mind are constantly changing, and mindful movement honors that fluidity. Instead of striving for peak performance, focus on showing up authentically. Allow yourself to explore what feels right in the moment without judgment. Finally, let's talk about the broader benefits of mindful movement beyond anxiety reduction. Regular practice improves physical health by increasing strength, flexibility, and cardiovascular endurance. It enhances mental clarity, boosts mood, and supports better sleep. Moreover, it fosters a deeper relationship with yourself, teaching patience, discipline, and self-awareness. Over time, these qualities ripple outward, influencing how you interact with others and navigate challenges. As we wrap up this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Does mindful movement resonate with you as a tool for managing anxiety? Do you feel inspired to incorporate yoga, Tai Chi, or walking meditation into your routine? Remember, the journey is personal. There's no single right way to practice. What matters most is finding activities that bring you joy and peace while nurturing your mind-body connection. In the next chapter, we'll dive into working with difficult emotions, exploring how mindfulness and compassion can help us navigate feelings of fear, sadness, or frustration without being overwhelmed. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 7. Working with Difficult Emotions. In this chapter, we'll explore how mindfulness and compassion can help us navigate the challenging emotions that often accompany anxiety, fear, sadness, frustration, anger, and more. These feelings are an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to define us or dictate our actions. By learning to relate to difficult emotions with awareness and kindness, we can transform them from sources of suffering into opportunities for growth and healing. Let's start by acknowledging something important. Emotions are not inherently good or bad, they're simply signals, messages from our inner world that convey information about our needs, values, and experiences. Yet, when it comes to difficult emotions, many of us instinctively resist them. We try to push away fear, suppress anger, or numb sadness, believing that doing so will make us feel better. But here's the paradox. Avoiding emotions actually intensifies them. The more we fight against what we feel, the stronger its grip becomes. Mindfulness offers a different approach, one rooted in acceptance rather than avoidance. Instead of rejecting difficult emotions, mindfulness invites us to turn toward them with curiosity and compassion. This doesn't mean wallowing in negativity or indulging in self-pity. It means observing our emotions without judgment, allowing them to exist without letting them control us. Think of it like watching clouds drift across the sky. Some clouds are dark and stormy, others are light and fluffy. All of them pass eventually. Similarly, emotions arise, linger for a while, and then fade away if we let them. So, how do we practice working with difficult emotions? Let's break it down step by step. The first step is recognition. When you notice yourself feeling anxious, upset, or overwhelmed, pause and name the emotion. Simply saying to yourself, "I'm feeling angry," or "I'm experiencing sadness," creates distance between you and the emotion. It reminds you that you are not your emotions, you are the observer of them. This small act of labeling reduces their intensity, making them easier to manage. The next step is investigation. Once you've recognized the emotion, take a moment to explore it more deeply. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it tightness in your chest, heaviness in your stomach, or tension in your jaw? Physical sensations often accompany emotional states, serving as anchors for mindfulness. By bringing attention to these sensations, you ground yourself in the present moment and prevent the mind from spiraling into unhelpful thoughts. As you investigate the emotion, ask yourself, what triggered it? Was it a specific event, memory, or interaction? Understanding the cause can provide valuable insight into your patterns and triggers. For example, if you notice that certain situations consistently provoke anxiety, you can begin to address those underlying issues proactively. However, be careful not to get caught up in analysis paralysis. The goal isn't to overthink the emotion, but to acknowledge it fully and release any resistance to it. The third step is acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means recognizing that the emotion is already here, and fighting it won't make it disappear faster. Instead, offer yourself compassion. Imagine speaking to yourself as you would to a dear friend going through a tough time. You might say, "It's okay to feel this way, this is hard, but I'm here for you." Self-compassion softens the edges of difficult emotions, creating space for healing. One powerful tool for working with emotions is journaling. Writing provides a safe outlet for processing complex feelings, helping you gain clarity and perspective. If you're new to journaling, start by setting aside a few minutes each day to write freely without censoring yourself. Describe the emotion you're experiencing, including its physical sensations, triggers, and impact on your thoughts and behavior. Don't worry about grammar or structure, just let the words flow. Over time, journaling can reveal patterns and insights that empower you to respond to emotions more skillfully. Another effective technique is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine the emotion as an object, a storm cloud, a wave, or even a color. Picture it existing outside of you, separate from who you are. Then visualize it slowly dissipating or moving away. This exercise helps externalize the emotion, reducing its power over you. Visualization works particularly well for people who struggle to articulate their feelings verbally, offering a creative way to express and release them. For moments when emotions feel overwhelming, grounding techniques can restore balance quickly. One popular method is the 5-4-3-2-1 sensory exercise. Take a deep breath and identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This practice redirects your focus outward, interrupting the cycle of rumination and reconnecting you with the present moment. Grounding techniques are especially useful during panic attacks or periods of acute stress, providing immediate relief when needed most. It's also helpful to cultivate gratitude alongside difficult emotions. While it might seem counterintuitive, finding something to appreciate, even amidst pain, can shift your perspective. For example, if you're feeling frustrated at work, you might acknowledge the opportunity to learn patience or resilience. If you're grieving a loss, you might reflect on the love and connection you share with the person or experience you're mourning. Gratitude doesn't negate the difficulty of the emotion. It simply expands your awareness, reminding you that life contains both shadows and light. Of course, working with difficult emotions isn't always easy. Some days you'll feel capable of facing them head-on. Other days you'll want to retreat or distract yourself. That's perfectly normal. Emotional regulation is a skill that develops over time, requiring patience and persistence. On tough days, lean on supportive practices like deep breathing, meditation, or reaching out to trusted friends or professionals. Remember, it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Another aspect worth exploring is the role of storytelling in shaping our emotional responses. Our minds naturally create narratives to explain our experiences, often framing difficult emotions as evidence of personal failure or inadequacy. For instance, you might interpret anxiety as proof that you're weak or incapable. But these stories aren't facts, they're interpretations. By questioning the validity of your internal dialogue, you can challenge limiting beliefs and reframe your relationship with emotions. Instead of seeing anxiety as a flaw, view it as a natural response to uncertainty or change. Reframing empowers you to meet emotions with understanding rather than judgment. Finally, let's talk about the importance of releasing emotions rather than suppressing them. Unexpressed emotions tend to accumulate, manifesting as chronic stress, fatigue, or even physical illness. Finding healthy ways to release them is essential for emotional well-being. Creative outlets like painting, dancing, singing, or playing music can channel emotions constructively, transforming pain into beauty. Physical activity, whether it's yoga, running, or dancing, also helps release stored tension, promoting a sense of catharsis and renewal. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. How does the idea of turning toward difficult emotions resonate with you? Do you feel equipped to approach fear, sadness, or frustration with greater awareness and compassion? Remember, emotions are messengers, not enemies. By listening to them with an open heart, you unlock the potential for deeper self-understanding and growth. In the next chapter, we'll explore cultivating gratitude and joy, discovering how these positive emotions can counterbalance anxiety and enrich your daily life. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 8. Cultivating Gratitude and Joy. In this chapter, we'll explore how intentionally focusing on gratitude and joy can transform your relationship with anxiety and enhance your overall well-being. While mindfulness and meditation help us manage stress, cultivating positive emotions adds another layer of resilience. Gratitude and joy aren't just fleeting states, they're practices that, when nurtured consistently, create lasting shifts in our mindset. By shifting our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, we open ourselves to greater peace, connection, and fulfillment. Let's begin by understanding why gratitude is so powerful. At its core, gratitude is about recognizing and appreciating the good in our lives, the people, experiences, and blessings that often go unnoticed. When we practice gratitude, we shift our perspective away from scarcity and toward abundance. Anxiety thrives on worry about the future and dissatisfaction with the present, but gratitude interrupts this pattern by anchoring us in what's already here. It reminds us that even amidst challenges, there are moments worth celebrating. Research supports the profound benefits of gratitude. Studies show that practicing gratitude improves mental health, reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety, strengthens relationships, and enhances overall life satisfaction. But these effects don't happen overnight. They require consistent effort. The key is to make gratitude a habit, weaving it into your daily routine until it becomes second nature. So how do we cultivate gratitude? One of the simplest and most effective methods is keeping a gratitude journal. Each evening, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental achievements. Sometimes the smallest joys carry the deepest meaning. Perhaps it's the warmth of sunlight streaming through your window, a kind word from a colleague, or the taste of your favorite meal. Writing these moments down not only helps you notice them, but also reinforces their significance. Over time, this practice trains your brain to scan for positivity, making it easier to find silver linings even on tough days. If journaling feels daunting, try verbalizing your gratitude instead. Share your appreciation with others, whether it's thanking a friend for their support, complimenting a stranger on their smile, or expressing love to your family. Verbal gratitude fosters connection, reminding both you and the recipient of the goodness in your shared humanity. And don't forget to thank yourself. Acknowledge your efforts, no matter how small. Self-gratitude builds self-esteem and encourages self-compassion, creating a foundation for emotional resilience. Another way to deepen your gratitude practice is through visualization. Spend a few minutes each day imagining all the blessings in your life as vibrant images or sensations. Picture the faces of loved ones who bring you comfort, recall the sound of laughter during cherished moments, or relive the feeling of accomplishment after completing a task. Visualization amplifies the impact of gratitude, embedding those positive memories more deeply into your consciousness. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to see the light alongside the shadows. On particularly challenging days, it can be helpful to reframe obstacles as opportunities for growth. For example, if you're struggling with a demanding project at work, you might express gratitude for the chance to develop new skills or prove your capabilities. If you're navigating conflict in a relationship, you might appreciate the opportunity to deepen communication and mutual understanding. Reframing isn't about dismissing pain, it's about finding balance and perspective. Now let's talk about joy, a close cousin of gratitude that deserves equal attention. Joy is often misunderstood as something external, dependent on circumstances beyond our control. We think, I'll feel happy when I get that promotion, or I'll be joyful once I achieve my goals. But true joy comes from within. It's a state of being that arises when we align ourselves with the present moment and embrace life fully, regardless of external conditions. To cultivate joy, start by paying attention to the little pleasures that surround you every day. Notice the texture of a soft blanket, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, or the sound of rain tapping against your window. These sensory details may seem insignificant, but they hold immense potential for sparking joy. Mindfulness is the bridge between ordinary moments and extraordinary experiences. By slowing down and savoring the richness of the present, you invite joy to flourish. Another pathway to joy is play. As adults, we often lose touch with the uninhibited creativity and spontaneity that brought us joy as children. Reconnecting with playfulness can reignite that spark. Whether it's dancing to your favorite song, doodling in a sketchbook, or engaging in a hobby you adore, allow yourself permission to enjoy without judgment. Play isn't frivolous. It's essential for replenishing energy, reducing stress, and fostering a sense of wonder. Acts of kindness also generate joy, not just for the recipient, but for the giver as well. Helping others activates the brain's reward centers, releasing feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. Look for opportunities to extend kindness, whether big or small. Hold the door open for someone, volunteer your time, or simply offer a listening ear to a friend in need. Acts of service remind us of our interconnectedness, reinforcing the idea that joy multiplies when shared. For those seeking structured ways to cultivate joy, consider incorporating rituals into your daily life. Rituals provide a sense of stability and intentionality, grounding us in moments of beauty and meaning. For example, you might start each morning with a gratitude meditation, light a candle to mark the beginning of your evening, or end the day by reflecting on one joyful moment. These small acts accumulate over time, shaping your experience of life in subtle but significant ways. It's important to note that cultivating gratitude and joy isn't always easy, especially during difficult times. Grief, loss, or chronic stress can make it hard to access these emotions. That's okay. You don't have to force yourself to feel grateful or joyful when you're genuinely struggling. Instead, honor where you are while gently nudging yourself toward positivity. Even acknowledging the desire for gratitude or joy is a step in the right direction. One practical tip for maintaining momentum is to pair gratitude and joy practices with existing habits. For instance, use your morning coffee as a trigger to list 3 things you're thankful for, or before bed, reflect on one joyful moment from the day. Linking new behaviors to established routines increases the likelihood of sticking with them long term. Finally, let's address the role of comparison in diminishing gratitude and joy. Social media, cultural expectations, and societal pressures often lead us to measure our lives against others, fostering envy and discontent. To counteract this tendency, focus inward rather than outward. Celebrate your unique journey and accomplishments, no matter how modest they may seem. Remind yourself that everyone's path unfolds differently, and comparing yours to someone else's only robs you of your own happiness. As we wrap up this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Does the idea of cultivating gratitude and joy resonate with you as tools for managing anxiety? Do you feel inspired to integrate these practices into your daily life? Remember, gratitude and joy aren't destinations, they're ongoing processes. Every small effort counts, and consistency compounds over time. In the next chapter, we'll explore building resilience through acceptance, learning how to face life's uncertainties with courage and grace. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage. Chapter 9. Building Resilience Through Acceptance. In this chapter, we'll delve deeply into one of the most transformative yet challenging aspects of personal growth: acceptance. While mindfulness and gratitude help us navigate life's ups and downs, acceptance takes us further, teaching us how to face uncertainty, discomfort, and change with courage and grace. By embracing acceptance, we build resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity while staying grounded in our inner strength. Let's begin by clarifying what acceptance truly means. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up, resigning yourself to fate, or condoning harmful situations. It's not passive, it's active. Acceptance is about acknowledging reality as it is without resistance or denial. Too often we waste energy fighting against things we cannot control, amplifying our suffering in the process. Anxiety thrives on this resistance, convincing us that if only we could change circumstances or ourselves, we'd finally find peace. But true peace comes not from changing the external world, but from shifting our relationship with it. Acceptance starts with recognizing a fundamental truth. Life is inherently uncertain. No matter how carefully we plan or prepare, there will always be surprises, some welcome, others unwelcome. Change is the only constant, and resisting it only creates tension. Instead of bracing for impact, acceptance invites us to soften into the flow of life, trusting that we have the capacity to adapt no matter what arises. This shift in perspective transforms challenges from threats into opportunities for growth. So, how do we practice acceptance? Let's break it down step by step. The first step is awareness. When faced with difficulty, pause and observe your initial reaction. Are you tensing up, pushing back, or trying to escape? These responses are natural. They're part of our survival instincts, but they often make things worse. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to breathe deeply and notice what's happening within you. Where do you feel resistance in your body? Is it tightness in your chest, heaviness in your stomach, or a racing heart? Physical sensations provide clues to emotional states, helping you identify areas where acceptance is needed. The next step is acknowledgement. Once you've identified resistance, name it clearly. For example, you might say to yourself, "I'm feeling anxious because I don't know what's going to happen," or "I'm upset because this isn't how I wanted things to go." Simply putting words to your experience reduces its intensity, creating space for clarity and understanding. Acknowledgement isn't about wallowing in negativity, it's about validating your emotions so you can move forward constructively. The third step is surrender, not in the sense of defeat, but in the sense of letting go. Surrender means releasing the need to control outcomes and instead focusing on what you can influence: your attitude, actions, and response. Imagine holding a heavy rock in your hand. You can grip it tightly, exhausting yourself in the process, or you can set it down and conserve your energy. Similarly, when we let go of attachment to specific results, we free ourselves from unnecessary strain. This doesn't mean abandoning effort entirely, it means channeling your energy wisely, prioritizing action over worry. One powerful tool for practicing acceptance is reframing. Reframing involves shifting your perspective on a situation, finding meaning or value even in hardship. For instance, instead of viewing a setback as proof of failure, see it as feedback, an opportunity to learn and improve. Instead of interpreting rejection as evidence of inadequacy, recognize it as redirection towards something better suited for you. Reframing doesn't erase pain, but it softens its edges, making it easier to bear. Another way to cultivate acceptance is through mindfulness meditation. During meditation, we train ourselves to observe thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing them to arise and pass naturally. This practice mirrors real-life acceptance. Rather than clinging to pleasant experiences or avoiding unpleasant ones, we meet each moment with openness and curiosity. Over time, this skill translates off the cushion, enabling us to face challenges with greater equanimity. For moments when acceptance feels particularly difficult, grounding techniques can restore balance quickly. One effective method is the RAIN technique, which stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. First, recognize what you're feeling. Name the emotion clearly. Next, allow it to exist without judgment, reminding yourself that all feelings are valid. Then, investigate its physical sensations, triggers, and underlying needs. Finally, nurture yourself with compassion, offering kindness and support just as you would to a friend. RAIN provides a structured approach to working with difficult emotions, fostering acceptance in manageable steps. It's also helpful to reflect on the impermanence of all things. As we explored earlier in this series, nothing lasts forever, not joy, not pain, not anxiety itself. Even the most intense emotions eventually fade, giving way to new experiences. Reminding yourself of this truth can reduce the fear associated with uncertainty. When faced with a challenging situation, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? What can I do now to care for myself? These questions put difficulties into perspective, helping you respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. Building resilience through acceptance requires patience and persistence. Some days you'll feel capable of embracing whatever comes your way. Other days you'll struggle to let go of expectations. That's perfectly normal. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up each time you stumble. On tough days, lean on supportive practices like deep breathing, journaling, or reaching out to trusted friends or professionals. Remember, it's okay to seek help when you need it. Another aspect worth exploring is the role of storytelling in shaping our response to adversity. Our minds naturally create narratives to explain our experiences, often framing challenges as insurmountable obstacles or personal failures. For example, you might interpret a career setback as proof that you're incapable, or a relationship conflict as evidence that you're unlovable. But these stories aren't facts, they're interpretations. By questioning their validity, you can challenge limiting beliefs and reframe adversity as a catalyst for growth. Instead of seeing setbacks as roadblocks, view them as stepping stones, guiding you toward greater self-awareness and strength. Finally, let's talk about the importance of celebrating progress, no matter how small. Building resilience is a journey, not a destination. Each time you choose acceptance over resistance, you strengthen your capacity to handle life's uncertainties. Celebrate these victories, whether it's staying calm during a stressful meeting, forgiving yourself for a mistake, or simply acknowledging a difficult emotion without judgment.
These seemingly minor acts accumulate over time, reinforcing your ability to thrive
amidst change. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Does the idea of building resilience through acceptance resonate with you as a tool for managing anxiety? Do you feel equipped to face uncertainty with greater courage and grace? Remember, acceptance isn't about erasing difficulty, it's about transforming your relationship with it. By embracing life as it is, you unlock the potential for deeper peace and fulfillment. In the next chapter, we'll bring everything together, exploring how to integrate mindfulness, gratitude, acceptance, and all the tools we've discussed into a cohesive daily practice. Until then, thank you for joining me in this exploration. May you carry these insights forward with gentleness and courage.
Chapter 10, bringing it all together, living
mindfully. In this final chapter, we'll weave together everything we've explored throughout this journey, from mindfulness and loving kindness to impermanence, gratitude, and acceptance, into a cohesive framework for living mindfully every day. This isn't just about mastering individual techniques, it's about integrating them into your life in a way that feels natural, sustainable, and transformative. Living mindfully means embracing each moment fully, meeting challenges with courage, and savoring the beauty of existence. Let's start by reflecting on how far we've come. Over the past 9 chapters, we've uncovered powerful tools to help you manage anxiety and cultivate inner peace. We began by understanding anxiety through a Buddhist lens, learning to see it not as an enemy, but as a teacher, an invitation to look within. From there, we explored mindfulness, discovering how paying attention to the present moment can anchor us amidst life's storms. Loving kindness meditation, Metta showed us the power of compassion for ourselves and others in softening fear and fostering connection. Impermanence reminded us that nothing lasts forever, freeing us from clinging to outcomes or resisting change. Gratitude and joy taught us to celebrate abundance, even in small ways, while acceptance empowered us to face uncertainty with grace. Finally, resilience equipped us to adapt and grow stronger through adversity. Each of these teachings is interconnected, forming a holistic approach to well-being. Now, let's talk about how to bring these principles into daily life. Mindful living isn't reserved for special occasions or formal practices. It's a way of being that permeates every aspect of your day. To make mindfulness practical and accessible, consider designing a personalized routine that incorporates the tools we've discussed. Here are some ideas to get you started. Morning rituals. Begin your day with intention. Instead of rushing out of bed and diving straight into tasks, carve out a few minutes for mindfulness. You might sit quietly, focusing on your breath, or stretch gently with mindful movement like yoga or Tai Chi. Light a candle or say a brief affirmation to set a positive tone. If journaling resonates with you, jot down 3 things you're grateful for or reflect on one joyful moment from yesterday. These simple acts create a foundation of calm and clarity that carries you through the rest of the day. Mindful transitions.
Throughout the day, use transitions between activities
as opportunities to pause and reset. For example, before starting work, take 3 deep breaths to center yourself. When moving from one task to another, notice how your body feels. Are you holding tension? Is your mind racing ahead? Gently bring your focus back to the present. Even mundane tasks like brushing your teeth or washing dishes can become meditative if approached with awareness. By infusing ordinary moments with mindfulness, you transform routine actions into sacred rituals. Emotional awareness. As emotions arise during the day, practice observing them without judgment. Remember the steps we covered earlier. Recognize, acknowledge, and surrender. If anxiety surfaces, ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? Is it true? Use grounding techniques like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sensory exercise to steady your nervous system. For difficult emotions, lean on gratitude and reframing to shift your perspective. Visualize the emotion as something external, a storm cloud passing overhead.
and remind yourself that it won't last forever. Compassionate connections. Extend loving kindness to those around you, whether it's offering a genuine compliment, listening attentively, or simply smiling at a stranger. Acts of kindness ripple outward, benefiting both giver and receiver. At home, practice active listening with loved ones, truly hearing their words without interrupting or planning your response. Cultivate empathy by imagining what they might be feeling beneath their words. These small gestures strengthen relationships and foster a sense of belonging. Evening reflections. End your day with reflection, reviewing its highs and lows with curiosity rather than criticism. Spend a few minutes writing in your gratitude journal, noting moments of joy or lessons learned. If something challenging occurred, explore what it taught you about yourself or others. Before sleep, engage in a calming activity like reading, meditating, or practicing progressive muscle relaxation to release tension. Reflecting on your day helps you to process emotions and prepare for tomorrow with renewed energy. To deepen your integration of these practices, consider setting monthly intentions. For instance, dedicate 1 month to exploring gratitude more deeply, experimenting with new forms of expression, such as writing thank you notes or creating A gratitude jar where you drop notes of appreciation.
another month. Focus on mindful movement, trying different styles of yoga, tai chi, or walking meditation. Rotate through themes that resonate with you, allowing your practice to evolve organically. It's also helpful to anticipate obstacles and plan for them proactively. Life will inevitably throw curveballs, busy schedules, unexpected setbacks, or emotional upheavals that disrupt your routine. When this happens, don't judge yourself harshly. Instead, view interruptions as part of the process. Can you find 5 minutes to breathe mindfully, even amidst chaos? Can you express gratitude for the challenge itself, knowing it's shaping you into a stronger version of yourself?
Flexibility is key to maintaining
Consistency over time. Another crucial element of mindful living is self-compassion. Too often, we hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, berating ourselves for perceived failures or shortcomings. But mindfulness asks us to treat ourselves with kindness, especially when we stumble. If you miss a meditation session, forget to journal, or lose patience during a stressful moment, forgive yourself. Acknowledge the effort you're making and celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Progress isn't linear. It's a winding path filled with ups and downs. Be patient with yourself and trust that consistency matters more than perfection. As you continue this journey, remember that mindfulness isn't about achieving some ideal state of enlightenment or erasing pain entirely. Life includes discomfort, difficulty, and uncertainty. And mindfulness equips us to navigate these realities with greater ease and wisdom. Rather than seeking constant happiness, aim for wholeness, embracing both light and shadow, joy and sorrow, success and failure. This balanced perspective fosters resilience, enabling you to thrive amidst life's inevitable fluctuations. Finally, let's talk about community. While mindfulness is a deeply personal practice, sharing it with others amplifies its impact. Join a meditation group, attend workshops, or connect with like-minded individuals online. Engaging with a supportive community reinforces your commitment and provides encouragement during tough times. Additionally, teaching mindfulness to others, whether through casual conversations or structured guidance, deepens your own understanding and strengthens your skills. Sharing your journey reminds you that you're not alone in navigating life's complexities. As we conclude this chapter and our exploration together, take a moment to reflect on what you've gained. Do you feel inspired to live more mindfully, weaving these practices into your daily life? Have you noticed shifts in your relationship with anxiety, stress, or other challenges? Remember, mindfulness isn't a destination, it's a lifelong practice. Every breath, every step, every act of kindness contributes to your growth. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. My hope is that you leave this video feeling empowered with tools to support your well-being and inspired to embrace life with greater presence and compassion. Until next time, may you walk gently, breathe deeply, and live fully.
Namaste. And so we arrive at the end of our journey together, for now. As we close this chapter, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here today. Whether you've been with me since the beginning or are just discovering the mindful zone, your willingness to explore these teachings is a testament to your courage and commitment to growth. Throughout this video, we've covered a vast landscape, from understanding anxiety through the wisdom of Buddhism to cultivating mindfulness, loving kindness, gratitude, acceptance, and resilience. Each chapter has offered tools and insights designed to help you navigate life's challenges with greater ease and clarity. But remember, the real work begins now, when you step away from this screen and bring these practices into your daily life. Mindfulness isn't something you master overnight, it's a lifelong practice. Some days you'll feel deeply connected to the present moment, calm and centered. Other days distractions will pull at your attention and emotions may feel overwhelming. That's okay. What matters most isn't perfection, it's persistence. Every small effort counts. Every mindful breath, every act of kindness, every moment of gratitude adds up, shaping who you are and how you experience the world. As you move forward, I encourage you to approach this journey with gentleness and curiosity. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how incremental it may seem. And when setbacks arise, and they will, remind yourself that stumbling is part of the process. Each time you get back up, you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. One of the most beautiful aspects of mindfulness is its ripple effect. When you cultivate peace within yourself, it naturally extends outward, touching those around you. Your calm presence becomes a gift to others, whether you realize it or not. By choosing to live mindfully, you contribute to a collective shift toward greater compassion, understanding, and connection. Before we part ways, I'd like to leave you with a simple yet profound reminder. You already possess everything you need to find peace. The answers aren't outside of you, they're within. Trust in your ability to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Lean into the tools we've explored together, but also trust your intuition. There's no single right way to practice mindfulness. What works for one person might not resonate with another. Listen to your heart, honor your unique needs, and let your path unfold organically. If this video has resonated with you, please consider sharing it with someone who might benefit. Anxiety affects so many of us, and spreading awareness about mindfulness can make a meaningful difference in people's lives. Together we create a community of support, a space where vulnerability is met with compassion and growth is celebrated collectively. Finally, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to the Mindful Zone for more content on mindfulness, meditation, and well-being. Leave a comment below letting me know which chapter resonated with you most, or share your own experiences with mindfulness. I'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or topics you'd like me to explore in future videos, don't hesitate to reach out. This channel is here for you. As we say goodbye for now, carry these words with you. Life is a precious gift, fleeting and fragile, yet infinitely rich in possibility. Embrace each moment fully, not because it will last forever, but precisely because it won't. Breathe deeply, walk gently, love fiercely, and above all, trust that you are capable of finding peace, even amidst chaos. Until next time, thank you for being here. May your days be filled with clarity, joy, and serenity. Namaste.